Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Break with Dr. Michelle Alignay. I miss going live. I haven't been going live for since November. Things are busy. How's everybody? How are you? Um, I need to do this. I want to do this and I know we miss doing it. So kahit na 10 kayo, 20 kayo, 30 kayo, or wherever you are in the world, either it's morning there, it's your coffee break in the morning, or it's like me, you're holding a cup of tea because it's almost end of day here in Manila. Still, coffee break with Dr. Michelle is your real conversations on family, relationships, well-being, and faith. That's why we are here. It's February, Fag-ibig. It's like kailangan natin pag-usapan ng mga bagay tungkol sa pag-ibig, tungkol sa relasyon. And kahit na konti lang pag-usapan natin because this will also be updated in my Spotify. So either you're accessing this through Facebook Live, YouTube, or Spotify, you can always access Dr. Michelle Alignay. So magandang hapon, magandang gabi, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. And magtawag na kayo ng tribe mo like my friend here. Hello, Ara Fernando. I know you are there. I know you're so supportive. Thank you for tagging your friends in Coffee Break. At salamat sa pag-iintay ng Coffee Break. So for those of you who are here, tell me, what are your issues regarding relationship? Ano yung mga katanungan nyo sa pag-ibig or mga, let me use the word, mga katangahan natin na dapat natin makorek? Because, healthy relationships actually begins with us. So, magandang thesis natin yan. Yan ang magandang operational thought natin. So, bakit ba, Doc? Why are you doing this Love and Wellbeing series? This is episode 1. So, each day, for the until February 14, I will be uploading one video each day. So some of them are recorded, some it's a surprise that I go online, and I would be uploading them for us to actually talk about questions and critical issues on love and relationships. And why is it that we're talking about love and well-being? Do you know that love, it's a symbol for relationship? Healthy relationship is one important area of well-being. So, pag-usapan natin yan. Simulan natin dyan ng conversation. So, friends, sa mga nandito ngayon, hi. Oh, hi Kathleen. Hi Ara. Sa mga nandito ngayon, I would like to ask you, when you are in relationships, or how does your well-being affect your relationships? Diba? When we're going through our own issues, pag tayo yung may sakit, pag tayo yung nahihirapan, hindi ba ang hirap to be well? Ang hirap magmahal. Parang gusto mo na lang pakabig lagi. At ang hirap naman mag-serve sa mga mahal natin sa buhay. Ang hirap din mahalin yung mga taong nakapaligid sa atin. Pero, the tricky thing is like chicken and egg. Hindi niyo ba napansin na when our relationships are not healthy, when our well-being is also suffering? Taas ang kamay or press like or tell me if it's this you that when you're going through relationship conflicts, you're going through difficulties in your relationship, or yung mga point in your relationship na gusto mo nang bumigay, your mental health and your emotional life is actually suffering so much. Because it actually affects one and the other. Hindi yan nagkakaiwanan. Baka sabihin nyo, ay, okay lang naman na masira yung mental health ko, pero basta may pag-ibig ako. Hindi totoo yun. Magkasama talaga. Magkasama yan. So you have to realize, Mia, ang hirap magbigay. Ano pang ibibigay? Kaya nga pag yung mental health natin, when we're suffering with our mental health, it's really hard to give. It's really hard to love. It's really hard to serve. And, that's why we need to pat our backs. If we went through difficulties, we went through hard times during the pandemic, the past few months, and you were still here. So, kaway-kaway sa mga taong nandyan pa rin, nagmamahal, nagsisilbi, pinipilit magmahal, pinipilit matuto, pinipilit pa rin mapuno yung sarili. So let's just talk about this evening. So, let's talk about one of the favorite. So, nakaka-relate ba tayo sa pag-uusapan natin? And if you have more questions about relationship, please put it here in the comments so that I can look into it as I go through this week. So this afternoon, this evening, sorry ako afternoon, I'm sorry, ngayon lang ako nag-evening. Cheers. This evening, I'm going to talk about real love or in love. Narinig, na in love na kayo, friends. I know that at one point in your life, you felt love or you felt that this is it, ito na yung pag-ibig. And then most of the time, I hear this question, is this real love? Or it's just, I'm so in love. So we've heard that. Real love and being so in love. So how would we know which one and the other? Is it the same? We hear being in love. But the funny thing is, minsan may makikipag-break tapos sasabihin, I'm no longer in love with you. Yan. So, 'di ba? Kaya nga minsan sasabihin sa atin ang ginagamit na line, storyline or narrative if there's a breakup is that I'm no longer in love with you. So, is that fair? So, ano ba yung pag-ibig pag nawala na lang? Wala na. So, no comment ako sa pag-ibig. Medyo tanga ako. Makakuha na ng kape. Di ko kailangan itag. Alam na namin na So, yes, salamat mga aking mga friends, Ara and Mia. Thank you for always being here. So, I would like to share with you. Friends, have you been in love? Yes or no? So, kung yes, okay. Pero 'di ba, sometimes bakit mahal ko siya pero ang daming nagbago, ang daming nangyari. Isn't it that love it's not supposed to change? Since dapat natin pag-usapan, love changes. Nagbabago talaga 'yon. Kung hindi nagbago yung pag-ibig nyo, ewan ko na lang, hindi nag-evolve. So, we hear being in love and I'm no longer in love. So, actually, in reality, friends, being in love is different from love itself. So, let's start first from being in love. Can you say with me? Can you type there, being in love? Being in love is actually an emotional experience. When we say it's an emotional experience, it's just concentrated yung feeling na kinikilig ka, you want to give your all to the person, gusto mo siya laging makita, para kang bagets that who just wants gusto mo nang, sorry, masyadong tita tong term na to, gusto mo nang makipagtanan dun sa tao. Ito yung kahit na 'di ba no, Nihan, yung pagiging in love, kahit ano gagawin mo para sa mahal mo, yon. Yung nagpapadala ka sa emosyon. That's a favorite line. Nagpapadala ka sa emosyon because you feel that experience of overpowering feeling and an emotional experience of being in love. So that's being in love. It's an emotional experience. But there will come, so you see everything in rose-colored glasses. Lahat ng tingin mo sa taong yan na in love ka, maganda. Minsan may nakikita kang hindi maganda. Pero because you're so blinded and you're wearing what we call blinders, yung parang sa kabayo, you're just focused there on that person, hindi mo nakikita yung periphery, hindi mo nakikita na, ay shucks, red flags to. Ay shucks, can I live with this attitude of this person? So sometimes you try to justify this because you are overpowered by the feeling of being in love. And is it okay? It's okay. At a certain point, it's okay. Because that experience can be actually fleeting. That is why many times, if you try to get married within 3 months, 4 months of getting to know the person, nun mo lang nakilala, you're so passionately in love, sometimes the relationship may not, I'm not saying it's absolute, it may not be uh, a very mature relationship simply because you don't get to know the other side of the person because when we're so in love, it's sabi nga, we're tainted. Parang ang tingin natin lahat maganda, di ba? Kahit na ang daming nangyayaring pangit when we're so in love. Parang, wow, ang ganda. Wow, it's just refreshing. It's just you went through a spa na ang sarap ng feeling. And that's why I told you, being in love is an emotional experience. But what about real love? What about true love? Or what about, let me use the term, authentic love? O hindi ba?
Minsan, pag nagsimula na kayo nag-away at nakikita mo na parang okay, lumalabas na yung ugali niya, lagi pala siyang late, um, dinededma niya pala ako, sabihin niya, oh, we're going to talk about it, and then it's going to say sorry, and then you're gonna give me flowers, and after that, you don't talk about the issues, or parang hindi mo ako pinapansin pag mayroon akong concern na I would like to share with you. Gusto ko magkwento tungkol sa nangyari sa akin, tapos ayaw mo akong pakinggan, or minsan you're lying to your teeth, nahuli na kita, and then parang hindi mo sinasabi sa akin kung anong totoong whereabouts mo. And then, when conflict starts to get in, diyan masusubukan. Hindi nasusubukan ang tunay na pag-ibig dun sa stage of being in love, because that's actually in one theory of Scott Peck, ang tawag dyan, it's the honeymoon stage. Yeah, honeymoon. Everything is nice. Everything is like roses and petals and chocolates. Ligawan, pakiligan. Minsan pa nga, bolahan. That is the stage of being in love. But when we start having conflicts, it's actually the deepening. And then we realize that love is not just an emotional experience. When you transcend that, pag lumalim pa yung relasyon nyo, kahit na nakita ko tong ugaling to, kaya ko ba tong tanggapin? Kaya ba namin tong i-work out? And then it means na posibleng, ay pwede palang mag-mature yung pag-ibig. Ay pwede palang pag-usapan namin to. That both of you, despite that you are in love and it's starting to fade away kasi mas maraming inis, may galit, may frustration, may irritation na nangyayari. If you think you still love the person and you want to accept the person, then it's possible na ay, this could be love. I can accept him. And we're trying to work it out. Are you still with me, friends? Andyan pa ba kayo? Kumbaga, dito na nangyayari, nag-away na, but you're willing to make it work. And then, when you say real love, it's not only the feeling. Kasi ang feeling, pwedeng bukas, pagbangon mo, wala na yan. Kaya when I hear married couples say na, we need to separate because we're no longer in love. Is it correct? Yes, it happens. But it means it's healthy? Well, to a point, it's not healthy. Because when we get married, the basis of that love is no longer the being in love experience. Because that experience, pwede siyang mawala. Pwede siyang mag-disappear. When we are already trying to transcend that, we transcend that to the feeling of, to that statement, love is a decision and a commitment. Can you say that with me? So from the feeling of being in love, you transcend it. Mas malalim na to, desisyon ko na. Kahit na inis ako sa pagmumukha niya, gusto ko siyang batuhin, mahal ko pa rin siya. It's a decision already. And willing kang tanggapin na naiinis ako sa'yo. Alam kong hindi natin to pinagkakasunduan, pero willing akong i-work out natin to. Pero let's remove toxicity here. I'm going to talk about it in another episode. Talaga bang tatanggapin mo yung tao? Lalo na, paano kung toxic na, diba? So let's talk about that in another episode. So real love is based on commitment. So when there's a decision and you decide, I would like to continue with this relationship, then there's the commitment. And that's what happened to married couples. I think the couples here would agree with me, di ba? That it's already a commitment. Kung if you are in a loving relationship, mag-boyfriend kayo, mag-girlfriend, yung commitment na yan na parang, okay, I can live with that attitude of yours. Kaya kong sakyan, kaya kong ikutan, kaya kong tanggapin yan. Are you with me? So you have to realize that hindi porke maganda yung pakiramdam mo, it's real love. No. Because real love is measured doon sa you're willing to work it out kung mag-away. You're willing to see things through kung hindi kayo magkasundo. Diba? So, maraming aspeto ng pag-ibig, but I would like you to remember these three. Robert Steinberg, he has this triangular theory of love. There are three aspects of love. And in real love, this should be present. Kaya pag makita nyo, kung isa lang yung present dito, hindi totoong pag-ibig yun because these three are supposed to be present. One is intimacy. When we say intimacy, it's just not the physical intimacy or it's just not the sexual intimacy. But when we say intimacy, intimacy is that sense of closeness, that sense of closeness to that person. You feel connected, and we all, this is actually the friendship factor in the marriage or in the relationship. Kahit tayo mag-friends, ayan, my friends here, I have a lot of friends here. When you, there's the feeling of the warmth, and you know that fuzzy feeling that you felt accepted and loved by that person, that is actually intimacy. And you can be intimate with your friends. Yung kaya mo maging ikaw, kaya mo ikwento yung mga nangyayari sa'yo and to be vulnerable. And this is a beautiful start of a relationship. So that love has to have that intimacy. And love, that's the first one, intimacy. The second area of where real love should, what real love should have, it's actually passion. Med passion, ito yung drive, ito yung romance, ito yung sexual attraction, ito yung kinikilig ka, ito yung pag hinawakan ka, oh my God, nakakalambot. Okay, hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen. Love that is based on passion alone, yan yung tinatawag na you're just so romantically involved. Pero tanggalin mo yung, it has to go both ways, intimacy and passion. Kasi if love is only based in intimacy, hanggang para lang kayong magbarkada. But there should be passion because if you are married, it has to have that. It has to have romance. It has to have kilig. It has to have fire. And it has to have, you need to keep the relationship burning. But baliktarin natin. Kaya many times, if a relationship in terms of a loving relationship, meaning a man and a woman, or a couple relationship, if it's just based on passion alone, sorry, I need to use this word, libog, sexual attraction, sexual intimacy, but not the real friendship intimacy. If it's just based on passion alone, how would you resolve conflict? So you only feel connected with that person when you're sexually intimate, when you're together. Pero pag hiwalayin kayo, friends ba kayo? Baka hindi kayo nag-usap kung ano nangyayari sa buhay nyo. Baka you don't know what the other person's interests are. And you don't feel safe with that person. Kasi ang habol nyo lang, it's only passion. And that's the third criteria. There's a third element. So the three areas of love should have intimacy, passion, tama yan? Real love is measured by your willingness to work things out. Main, intimacy and passion. The third is actually the decision and commitment, which I mentioned earlier. So, real love is supposed to have intimacy, meaning the closeness, the bond, the friendship. It has to have passion and the romance part, the sexual attraction. Kailangan yan. Kasi pag yan ang nawala, at yung iba-iba ang nangyayari, pero hindi pwedeng yun lang. And the last is actually the decision and commitment. Decision is short term. I'm willing to work it out. I'm willing to stay here. I'm willing to marry you. I'm willing to accept you. Yun. Pero yung huli, alam nyo, it's actually the commitment that's the long term. Am I willing to commit to this person until we're old and gray? Am I willing to commit to this person kahit na napapagod ako, kahit na nahihirapan ako sa sitwasyon namin, kahit na LDR kami, tama ba Mia? Kahit na LDR kami, I want to commit to this person, I want to make our relationship work. Kahit na kailangan namin mag-adjust, kahit na hindi masaya, minsan, kahit na alam namin, ganyan yung family background niya, then there is the decision and commitment. Friends, if the feeling of being in love is only based on the passion and maybe a little of intimacy, but real love, meaning love in real loving relationship, couple relationship, marriage, it has to have that three areas. For us to call it true love, it has to go through several phases, and it has to go through that. It has to have the three elements according to the triangular theory of love, and that is, let's repeat that: intimacy, passion, decision, and commitment. Magkasama siya. Decision and commitment. Madali ba? Sa mga tao dito, madali bang magmahal? Alam nyo, madali bang magmahal? Tanong ko yan. Madali bang magmahal? Sa mga na-in love na at nagsabing this is true love, madali bang magmahal? Walang sumasagot. Sa tingin niyo ba, friends, madaling magmahal? Actually, I would end with this. It's easy to fall in love, but it's hard to stay and to be authentically in love. It's hard. It's easy to fall in love, but it's hard and challenging to stay and keep real love. 'Di ba? It's easy to fall in love, but it's hard and challenging to keep and to maintain real love. Totoo 'yan. Kaya sa mga na-challenge pa sa pag-ibig, sa mga bagay na hindi natin makita, yan ang pag-usapan natin sa susunod kasi ang dami pa natin pwedeng gawin. So friends, ano ang big takeaway mo? Meron ka bang tanong tungkol sa pag-ibig na gustong masagot? Please put it here. Sa mga friends natin na nandyan, I'm going to go live again tomorrow and then the following days, I'm going to record some episode. Dasal lang kailangan, oo. At saka alam nyo, maraming effort. Hindi yan pwedeng, ang pag-ibig ay, nung high school kayo, ano yung nilalagay nyo sa slum book? Pag love ang usapan. Diba yung love is like a rosary that is full of mystery. Edlin, na tandaan mo yan, ganyan. O kaya parang, love is God. I mean, iba-iba. Pero alam niyo, sa totoo lang, ako, ako ang ngayon masasabi ko, love has seasons and love has reasons. Hindi ba? Hindi pwedeng kung ano tayo dati, ganun pa rin tayo ngayon. Hindi pwedeng, yun at yun na lang yung ating, yun na lang yung gagawin natin. Kailangan siyang alagaan ng marami for it to thrive. Because as I said, and I would end with that, I know that you are listening, and I know that many of you would agree, love is actually a decision. A decision to remain in the relationship. And it's easy to fall in love, but it's challenging and it's harder to keep real love, to maintain real love, and to see through real love. That's it for Coffee Break with Dr. Michele. Sa mga nagtatanong, pakilagay dyan yung mga tanong nyo, questions nyo, insight nyo, and I hope that you support this Love and Wellbeing episode for the next few days. So please share this episode to family and friends. You can support Coffee Break again by sending Facebook stars, or if you would like to support the work that I do, you can actually share it. You can actually share your blessings via GCash. Just send me a message so I can send you the GCash details. That's it for Coffee Break. I hope you stay tuned for the next episodes this coming days. Thank you, everyone. Please stay love and not too much in love, but work on having true and real love. God bless.